Well, hello, and it is time for the latest breath of fresh air, Shorty. It is me, Charles, back on this forum. I've been slacking on this forum for the year, so I think this is the second one that I've done this year, but hopefully I can continue to add to the total as the year goes along. But I am here now. I'm here with you guys for today, this beautiful Friday. And I am here to talk about, well, what else? The Los Angeles Lakers. So, look, I've been paying attention to what's been happening with this team and all the happenings in the NBA. You guys know I pretty much stay on it all day, every day. But um, with the Lakers, yes, I saw they were officially eliminated from playoff contention, not just play-in game contention, playoff contention, with Tuesday night's loss to the Phoenix Suns. Another just bad loss. Of course, LeBron James did not play. More on him in a minute. But as for the Lakers, big picture, this is what you have. I don't have to say what has happened. It's been well documented. It's been well analyzed in the last few days about what has happened to this team, where things went wrong, what happened, this and that. Well, here's the simple fact of the matter here for the people, and I'm talking to the people out in Las Vegas who makes the odds, who creates the bets, all the betting lines, all that. What were they seeing to put this team as a betting favorite to win the NBA championship? I think they were second behind the Brooklyn Nets, and the Brooklyn Nets, as you have heard on this webcast from myself and from Patrick Brackett, we don't understand why the Nets are even up there too. But whatever. This isn't about the Nets. But the Lakers were right there with them in second place. So I guess everybody went on the whole, oh well, they have LeBron and Anthony Davis, so they have the chance. This roster was not good. Period. When they decided to trade all those assets to get Russell Westbrook on the team, that was very, 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 very suspect, questionable, and quite frankly, it didn't make any sense to me when you consider anytime LeBron James or his teams have had success, it's because they've been able to spread the court with shooters, and LeBron could hit them with passes, and those guys would be able to knock them down. Well, you traded away all your shooting to get a guy who can't shoot the three at all, and this year he's been under 30%, which is typical Russell Westbrook. And again, with Westbrook, this is a guy who's heavily reliant on athleticism. So when that athleticism starts to go away, if you can't do anything else, you're going to get what you get from him, which is basically a declining player who is still ultra sensitive. And I guess now we can't call him Westbrick, excuse me, even though I've been hearing people call Russell Westbrook Westbrick for years now. Years. And I've been one of them, especially being an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. I've been a guy who's called him Westbrick a lot. But the mix was just bad, and they couldn't play defense. They had an old, aging roster, and it was basically the 2011 All Star team that they had in 2022. So you're old, you can't move, and you can't stop anybody. They were terrible defensively, and now all of a sudden, well, I guess it's been happening all year, but Frank Vogel is the guy who's getting the blame. This is ridiculous that Frank Vogel is going to be the one who's going to probably get fired. He's going to be the fall guy for all this. But there is a coach out there. I don't know any coach out there. I don't care if you do have some of the greatest coaches out there. Maybe Bill Jackson, Greg Popovich, just to name a couple. But I don't care what coach you had there. That was not going to work. That roster was awful. And in my eyes, it's all LeBron's fault. He's the one who kind of pulls the strings there, and they're trying to make him happy. Like nothing's getting okay without him saying that it's okay. So they bring Russell Westbrook to the team, and in the past, LeBron has had the talent to basically put the team on his back and get them to a certain point in the playoffs, if not the title. He's just not that guy anymore, simply put. And people are going to say, oh, well, look what LeBron's doing. And LeBron, who loves to control narratives, and be cryptic with this passive aggressive tweets and cryptic tweets and all that other BS that he puts out there. But he likes to control that narrative and say, hey, it's not my fault that we're not doing good. I mean, look at the people that we have on the team. Well, you kind of put that roster together, LeBron, so you don't get away from any blame here. As a matter of fact, you're getting the main amount of blame. You just could not make it work. And now all of a sudden you're running away from responsibility because that tweet that you sent at the beginning of the season talking about keep that same energy. Well, we've been there with the same energy. And now that the Lakers aren't going to the playoffs, you want to delete that tweet. You don't want to talk to people when you're in the arena in Phoenix in street clothes because now all of a sudden people want to ask you, hey, what happened? And now you're going to run away from it. And then you want to try to change the narrative with this clip that you dropped from the shop, your show, and say you would love to play with Steph Curry. No, 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 man. Don't try to bring Steph Curry into this. Steph Curry has nothing to do with this. You couldn't get the job done, LeBron. Simply put, you did not, you couldn't do it. You could score, you could do all that stuff, but this is why I've always said Anthony Davis is the key to this whole thing. LeBron's going to be LeBron. He's going to put up numbers, but most teams are going to feel they have an answer for him. Anthony Davis is that guy when he's good, when he's right, not too many teams have an answer for. And if he's able to stay healthy, then yes, the Lakers can be a championship contender. But LeBron just doing LeBron things, that's not enough anymore. Teams aren't worried about LeBron anymore. They're just saying, yo, you can score all the points you want to, but we're going to outscore you. And that's basically what's been happening. And even when the Lakers had their quote unquote big three, they were a 500 team with them all playing together. So that really, none of that really matters. So the Lakers are a hot mess. They're garbage, and now they're done. So after this, I'm pretty much done talking about the Lakers, and there's no reason to talk about them. They are done. They're through. It's time to talk about the teams that are actually going to the playoffs. No more LeBron talk after this Shorty, unless something happens, of course. But um, there is a way maybe this could have worked. Maybe this could have worked. Now, this wasn't going to happen because the egos are too big. But Russell Westbrook might have been able to come off the bench. He could have been the second that starter, that ignition guy to the second unit. And if he's playing good, then yeah, he can get those starter minutes. I feel like Russell Westbrook, he's a ball dominant player, just like LeBron James is a ball dominant player. Those guys need the ball in their hands to get the most amount of the maximum amount of effectiveness from them. So with them not being there or with them playing together, then none of that was going to work because they both need the ball. And they're not doing much without the ball in their hands. They're not really cutting, they're not really moving without the ball. So it's basically give the ball up right back to them. And when you have two players like that, that just it crowds the court. Nothing gets done. So maybe if Russell Westbrook was willing to come off the second unit, and I say that because we know LeBron ain't gonna do it, but maybe if Russell Westbrook was willing to come off the bench, maybe this could have had a chance of working. But Russell Westbrook was crying about that also. Oh, I've earned the right to be a starter. So, well, all right. This is the thing. People want to win. They say they want to win, but they want to do it on their terms. They're not really willing to do the sacrifices necessary to become a championship team, and that's what you saw with the Lakers. So now, here we are. Lakers are a disaster, looked at as one of the most disappointing teams in NBA history. If you're Jeannie Buss, the owner, if you're Rob Pelinka, the general manager, I think it's time to have that difficult, uncomfortable conversation with LeBron and Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and the rest of the people from LeBron's Clutch Sports Group. It's time to decide whether or not to break this up. Put LeBron on the trading block. Now, I'm pretty sure he has a no trade clause on his contract uh, from the beginning. I haven't analyzed the contract to that degree, but I'm pretty sure, knowing LeBron and how he has been known and reported to operate, he's probably got a no trade clause. So anything that has to go through, he has to okay it. So it's time to have that discussion. Maybe it's just time to break it up. The Lakers have no assets to rebuild this thing. go ahead and see if he wants to go somewhere else and just trade it. Break it up. Trade it. Now that Russell Westbrook contract, because he's probably going to opt in for that 44, $47 million contract. So I don't see him getting moved. But maybe Anthony Davis gets moved. And yes, LeBron can get moved. That dude is not untouchable. People want to act like he's untouchable. Oh, you can't trade LeBron. You would be crazy. Well, you know what? Call me crazy. You're not winning with him. Why are you gonna keep people there when you're not winning with them? You had the bubble championship and then you went out in the first round last year, going through the play-in tournament, and you didn't even make the play-in tournament this year. So no, it's time. Have that conversation. See if you can move on. See if it's ready to break it up. This is the difficult, uncomfortable conversation to have. And if you can trade LeBron, trade him. You're going to get a whole bunch back, and there's going to be a team out there who thinks they can win with them, and then they'll just try to go all in. See if you can find that team if you're Genie Bus and if you think Genie Bus and Rob Pelinka. That's where I'm at with it. You're not doing anything with them there. And LeBron is an aging player. I know he did great things this year, numbers wise, but he's still declining. He's 37, gonna be 38 years old soon. You cannot continue to build your team around a player who has won the game for 20, who's been in the game for 20 years. You just can't do it. So have that difficult conversation and see what is the best way to go about it. Because if you bring this crew back again for next year, it's going to be the same result. There's nothing that's going to change about that. I don't care if they do stay healthy. The mix is just way too bad, and you can't add any resources around them because you traded all the resources away. So I just think it is big time trouble in La La Land with the Lakers. And yes, some major changes need to be made. And it might be just time to just tear down and start over. Just trade everybody, have a fire sale, and we'll go from there. Well, that is what I'm breathing on for this shorty. Y'all make sure y'all get onto the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the lights coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy the sporting events that are going on, and we will be back next week. Take care.